Welcome back to Women of Wealth, where generational wisdom meets ambition and where we equip you with the tools to build lasting wealth, business, and impact. I'm your host, Holly Woods Gray.
And I'm your host, Ali Ramo.
Today, we're excited to bring you a powerful conversation with the true marketing strategist and growth expert, Amy Matthews.
Amy is a fractional chief marketing officer and the founder and CEO of Amy Matthews Integrated, where she helps multi-million-dollar businesses break through growth plateaus and scale sustainably.
With over 30 years of experience, Amy is known for her customer-centric approach, teaching entrepreneurs how to truly see their business through the eyes of their customers and create marketing that actually converts.
What makes Amy's work so impactful is her philosophy that everything in business should begin and end with the customer. And when you align your message with what your audience truly needs, growth becomes inevitable.
So let's dive right in. Amy, welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, I don't have anything else to say. You guys said it all already, so I'm good. If only
I hardly doubt that. I hardly doubt that with over 30 years of experience in marketing. I mean, come on. What led you to this role and what inspires you to focus on helping your companies break through growth plateaus?
Absolutely. So one of the really cool things is I'm one of those few people that studied something in college, fell in love with it, and stuck with it the whole time. So I did that all through college, got a graduate degree, and then have worked in large, huge corporations as well as in the last 12 now years owning my business and my agency. And really, it's a deep passion about what really can drive growth and drive success for businesses. And that's when they get out of their own way and put their customer at the center of everything they're doing. And that is so much easier to say than it is to do for them. So it's that deep passion and the empathy of being able to understand where a customer is, whether you call them a customer, a client, or a patient, which can be a huge deal, what you're calling them to people. It's about understanding really what's keeping them up at night, what their pain points are, and what those consequences for those things are happening in their life every day. And only then starting to talk about how you solve those problems. And that's the huge disconnect that I see. We're screaming at people about, look at me, how wonderful I am, and spending very little time saying, I see you and I see how much things are hard in this area, and I can help you with that.
I love that you're turning it into client or customer focused. So actually, I'd like to talk to you about, using that language, client versus customer, and in marketing, how important that is. What is the difference, and how can a business know to interact with their clients or customers in the appropriate manner?
So I'll give you a really great example. And this is usually where if I'm speaking in front of a group, I watch all the phones come out and they start looking to see if your website and that hero image, what we call band one, that top of your website, talks all about you, you've already messed up in the conversation. Because you're talking about yourself, you're not capturing them and having them say, do I see myself in this? If you're grabbing them with what is most important to them, i.e. on your website, in your marketing, anywhere. So that's your first thing. Is it all about you or is it about them? And if you're making it all about you, which 99% of the people are, then you've missed the boat because everyone else is doing that. Think of if you're scrolling and looking at things and someone says, do you struggle with this? Let's take women as an example. Are you waking up in the morning and you're still exhausted? Do you have brain fog? Do you have XYZ thing? Are you fatigued? Do you have trouble remembering things? Is this you? Do you identify as this? And there are all these women raising their hand. That's me. Now you say, is it causing you to do this? Are you fighting with your family? Are you forgetting things? Are you this? Yes, that's me. Okay, now I've said yes twice. Now I'm going to tell you, wait a minute, I might be able to help you with that. So this would be something someone in women's health might really focus on instead of saying, I am a doctor who has the following credentials and I've taken this class and this class and this class. All I want to know is, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do you understand me? So first question, are you talking about yourself or are you talking about them?
That's so good. So good. I mean, and Holly and I might have to edit our website a little bit.
I actually just wrote that down. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I have to be careful. I often lose people there. I'm like, okay, let's come back from the website. I'll give you a little worksheet. We can look at it later, something. We'll write it down, come back to it later.
So you gave us a great piece of homework already. What are some other ways that you can now turn it into having client focused, or what are other action items businesses might take to be more client focused?
So I think it's the next step from there. They also, businesses, especially I deal with entirely small businesses. So let me preface that by saying, as most people know, and a lot of people don't, if you look at what the government classifies as a small business, they can get pretty big. So multi-million-dollar small businesses, they all live in the space of, we're going to try to cram everything we do, everything we can provide, everything we are into one post, into one blog, into one email. No, because the second you're starting to do all of that and giving people this checklist of things, you've confused them. You need to zero in on one pain point or consequence of that pain point, or just a couple that all live together. Like I said, the brain fog, the fatigue, those things. We could throw in hot flashes. When you get too many, people say, that's not me, and they've gone, or they think they have to check every box. You want to be very specific and create things that funnel them through to that specific thing. The other thing I like to say is, if you are listing out the features of what you do, so this is a really good one to remember. If you're listing out all of the features, everything you do, and then you're slapping a big, it's worth this, and you're slashing through it and putting a price on it, you need to remember this really important phrase. At the end of your long list, ask them, and would you like fries with that? Because all you've done is given them a fast food menu. And when you give people 15 things and put a price tag on it, they are by nature picking out the 3 that are important to them. And they're trying to figure out, why the heck would I pay for the other 12? Because I know I'm paying for them. But if you sell them on the thing that really is keeping them up and they need to fix, they don't care that it comes with all those other things. They care that you're fixing it. You know those other things are important, but all they care about is you solve the problem, and they will 9 times out of 10 pay whatever price you're saying, as long as you're reasonable. And you're crazy, then your price is crazy. But that's really where you have to arrive at, is you meet them where they are and stop trying to say, I have to tell them the 100 ways I'm going to help them, versus I'm going to tell them how I'm going to solve their biggest problem.
What do you think about using stories, like examples of other people that you've been able to help through some of the challenges? Is that important or not really? People don't have time for that.
I think it depends. It depends. And you're going to hear that answer a lot. It depends on who your customer is. So everything I'm going to give you as information goes back to who your customer is. Mm-hmm. If you want to give real tangible examples, that's good. We are living in a world right now where trust is at an all-time low for brands across the board. There's lots of reason why trust is low. There is no one thing that is at fault. It's a culmination of all kinds of things. And because of that trust factor, you have to weigh in that they are immediately going to meet with skepticism over your story. Is your story even real? So yes, if you can have someone and have video testimonials and have those examples that you can use directly from the person, even a conversation where you can prove it's really 2 people talking, that's helpful. If you're manufacturing or embellishing or delivering the same story over and over and over again, people become deaf to it. They no longer listen to it. So I think it depends on your audience. It depends on what you're really claiming and how you've solved that problem. Now, go back to the medical example again. If you can clinically say, if we balance your hormones, we can make these things go away, then yes, you can say that. She doesn't really care who you did that for. She needs to know that there's a path to the answer and how that answer is going to happen. And then it's going to be designed specifically for her. So I know that it depends is not the greatest question, but I don't believe in formulaic things other than put your customer at the middle and then let them drive every decision.
Okay, so if you have several services, like for example, a doctor. They may have a specialty, but they service other things. Or maybe, in financial services, we service our clients for many different services. How can they be more specific with their marketing or their online presence about not telling them about all the services, but creating it to be important for the client?
Okay, so it's interesting that I started with medical and you talk financial services. Though I actually have clients in both of those realms. And funny anecdote to put in here, it is one of the big challenges of marketing is that in both of those cases, you are often marketing by lawyer. So you have to get past the lawyers who are looking at things to make sure you can say things.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to nuance things. When you offer more than one thing, remember, people are coming to you for a reason. And interestingly enough, on the medical side and the financial services side, they're actually coming to you often for the same reason. They're looking for a knowledgeable partner who can guide them. And they have been grappling with AI can do all these things for me. And AI is an excellent tool. It's a fabulous tool in marketing. And it's only as good as the prompt you put in it. So if you have no expertise in an area, you're going to get back what you put in, and it's not going to be able to do more than that. So I think in both financial services and medical areas, and in a lot of areas, what you're doing is providing that bridge. You're the partner that's going to navigate and come with the knowledge and the expertise to apply it to that particular customer, client, patient situation. And that's how you can sell yourself. And when you're doing and selling that, you can say things like, does making huge financial decisions keep you up at night? Does deciding if that new job is the right fit, is the more money enough to get me to my financial goals? And then you can sell them on, and I'm going traditional financial services here, you can sell them then on, okay, what if you had a partner, you could pick up the phone and say, this is what they're offering. They know all your goals, where you're trying to get, and all the things you want to do. Does this get you there? Same holds true for a company that's working with financial services to help them stack and stagger everything they need to do. You need a partner who can evaluate things, just like on the medical side. So you get to the root of what they want, and the services plug in. They're just features. You're hungry. You're going to a really good restaurant. You don't need to know before you go the entire menu and every little thing that's going. You don't need to know the ingredients in the mole that you just desperately want to have. You just know you want mole that night. You don't need them to give you an ingredient list and tell you how long it took them to make it.
Right. So with that, a lot of business owners feel overwhelmed trying to manage websites, social media, email marketing, content creation. How can entrepreneurs create a marketing strategy where everything works together instead of feeling scattered or disconnected?
Again, you're probably already seeing a theme here. They're going to start with their customer first. Too many times I watch business owners or larger business teams, and they come to the table and they say, we need, and they list out, I need to be on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I need to be on Twitter, X. I need to be on LinkedIn. I need to be here. I need to be there. I also need an email marketing campaign. I need a text marketing campaign. I need this. I need this. I need this. When really, if they start back at the beginning and say, who is my customer? Who are they really? And what drives their behavior? And then where are they and why? So I'll give you a great example. I am an Instagram girl. I love Instagram. But I love it for two reasons. It's entertainment for me. And I have a 15-year-old daughter. And yes, I communicate with her in Instagram reels on a regular basis. I am not shopping or making business decisions in Instagram. I scroll right past that stuff. So you have to not only understand where your person is, but what they're doing. You want to hit me up and talk to me about my business, you're landing in my inbox or you're catching me on LinkedIn. You're not on Instagram selling a service to me because I'm not paying attention. I'm not in that frame of mind. So you need to understand who your audience is, where they are, and why they're there. Now, there are lots of business owners that are using those platforms to make decisions. You just need to know if yours is. And
Right.
then when you start to look at your strategy and have a real strategy, not a tactical checklist of marketing, it becomes much more manageable because you're having this strategic approach. We can talk about funnels. Everyone talks about funnels and you have to have these special funnel things. No, you don't. A funnel is a landing page on your website. You're always better to drive your own traffic and have a website where it drives your own SEO and you can build funnel and all these things happen. But you need to understand how your person is making a decision. Do you offer something that lots of people offer? Take medical and financial services again, insert hotels, all these different things you can say that you do. Lots of people offer that. So how are you going to grab their attention and give them something that's going to keep you front of mind and then make them click and continue? And how do you get them in? I think that's where if you start to focus on where they are, think how much more manageable it becomes. If you know that your person needs, I need to catch her attention. So if it's a her and we're talking women's health again, I probably am catching her on those platforms because she's there. Let's hope she's not scrolling at 3 o'clock in the morning because she can't sleep, but she's there. She's scrolling. I might grab her attention. But now I have a couple things I have to do. I have to make sure she understands I'm legitimate. So I need a website. I need her to go somewhere and see that I am a real person. I have real solutions. This is a whole team. I am not some crazy fly by night. I'm selling her something online. Maybe I need something for her to interact with so she can give me a quiz and I can give I really think we should talk to see if this is a right fit. Does she need more time? Do I need to have a conversation with her and have a 15-minute call where she actually gets to talk to a real human and say, this really sucks and I need help? So you have to understand that now all the scattered things of marketing that you could do have become this much more consolidated list of what you should do. And then strategy really becomes strategic and less tactical. And only then do you start putting the tactics in and finding experts to help you in those things. If every solution you're picking is do it yourself, it's not going to ever get done. It just won't.
I appreciate you, simplifying it because I do feel like now as business owners, we feel like we have to be on all the platforms just in case our ideal client is on there. And so you're simplifying marketing by, turning it back towards your client focus and saying, maybe they're not on all platforms. So pick your medium, so to speak. And talking about, simplifying marketing, it's not the elephant in the room of artificial intelligence. AI is becoming a very powerful tool and people are using it for running their business and things like that. What are some ways that business owners, maybe they're not ready to hire, or as a marketing expert, how are you using AI to promote businesses more effectively and authentically while keeping business voice?
Okay, so AI to me is cutting edge. If we are not on the AI game plan, on that train, you are going to get left behind. It is what is of the future and it continues to evolve. So first and foremost, inside Amy Matthews Integrated, inside our agency, AI actually holds org chart spots. They are our AI often in many cases is a who for us. Because we're a smaller agency, I'm not going to go hire a researcher to deep dive on everything. I have a team member who actively uses Perplexity in the way it was designed to be used to research things we need to research. I work every day, all day long with Claude as a thought partner. A thought partner, not a task completer, but a thought partner. It's how does AI make us not just more efficient, but more effective? How does it make us better? I am exceptional at what I do. And I know one of the things I have to do is slow down and ask the right questions. I talk to Claude more than I do anyone else in my life. I actually talk to Claude. I have made this huge joke at a networking meeting I was at. I said, I have a new man in my life and he listens every time I talk. Using artificial intelligence is not just a nice thing to get to down the road. It is the cutting edge of everything that's going to happen in everything that we do. We use it as actual slots on our org chart. And so we do that in a variety of different ways. If you need to do deep research, we use Perplexity. Claude is a thought partner. There's all kinds of ways to do that. And what I find that people are making the mistake with AI marketing is they're going to ChatGPT and saying, I need to attract more customers. Tell me what to do. And it's producing some generic things that everyone else would do. And that's where they're making a mistake. They're not building a prompt that funnels in everything about that customer and how to reach them, and then designing things accordingly. When you build a prompt for marketing, one of the number one things you should do is include everything. Every single thing you know about your customer, every single thing you know about what works for your customer, every single thing that you offer. This is where you do want all that detail of all those features. And then have it help you build something by asking you questions, interview style, one question at a time, and diving into the topic with AI, as opposed to trying to get AI to quickly solve a problem for you and move on. Because what you're going to get at the end of the day, it's a large language model. It is pulling from all of these things, so you have to fine tune it. I was at a session recently with high-level marketing people inside UPS, Papa John's, Edible.com. I'm trying to remember one of the other ones. Oh, Kellogg spun off. I can't remember the new piece, but they spun off their snack division into this. All of the top marketing people of that, and they all said the same thing. The best people in AI right now are not the young people, because they're coming out of college taught to be afraid of it, taught that it's cheating. It is the seasoned people in business and marketing, because we have a foundation and a framework with which to ask our questions. We know what things should look like so we can evaluate it. So at the end of day, replacing seasoned marketing people with just AI is not going to get you where you want to go, because what you need is that seasoned person to know the right questions to ask. How many times have we heard in business that being the CEO isn't about having the answers, it's having the right question? That's what we have to do, is ask AI the right questions and push back and challenge it. So I'm a huge proponent of AI, and I don't think it's the elephant in the room. I think it's the drum major leading us down the field, and that's what we have to remember.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about what you put into it. The time, effort, energy. You don't just put something in there and then print it. You put it in there, you read it, it can be a really great, like you said, thought leader alongside you, an editor. It can catch your, the way you say something maybe isn't connecting. You can do a lot of A/B marketing to see what's working best for your clients. Now,
it's a great ghostwriter too, not writing it for you, but actually interview you and ghostwrite. And when you use the tools with AI that allow you to talk to it, the Claude app on my phone, I do talk to it. I make the joke that I've said before in meetings that Claude is the new man in my life, except he listens every time I talk. So my husband usually just rolls his eyes and walks away at that one, or says, huh? Proving my point that he wasn't listening necessarily. So having that dialogue back and forth, you can gain a lot of insight. What if AI got you 80, 90% of the way there? What could you accomplish? And what is in your unique ability that can be amplified, also giving you back that extra time, so you're not working till 9, 10 o'clock at night just trying to get things done?
Now, I don't know that much about Claude. I haven't really used it. I've heard recently a lot about it. I've been using chat mostly. That's just the one that already knows me, since I've been using it for a couple of years now. What are some of the key differences, between Claude and chat?
They're built in different structures, and from a tech side, that is not my expertise. What I can tell you is the way they function. And so one of the things that I find most interesting that people don't know is you can go to AI and ask it, what AI should I use to do the following things? And it will tell you. We actually did that. We used Claude and Gemini to ask that question and had it map out who's best to do this. We have some different ones that we use for coding. Who's best to do research? Who's best to help me build marketing funnels? Who's best to do this? It's really understanding that they are trained to do different things. And so you need to go tell it the kinds of things to do and look at investing in it. That would be the other tip I'd give people on AI. If you're thinking of AI as a who, not your how, going back to the Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan, it started with a book by Dan Sullivan, Who Not How was a small little book before it became the bigger one. And you look at the who, you wouldn't hire the same person and ask them to do everything because we know how that works. It never works out well. So finding the right who's to fit in. And then people want to go with the free route. Well, really, if I could pay Claude, I can't remember where I am right now. I think I may be at the 100 or 200. I don't even remember. I use it so much that whatever I'm paying, I'm fine with. If I max out again, I'll be bumping it up. If I can pay something like that, $200 a month to help me, what would it cost me to find a person to do all that work? And who could I possibly hire to sit next to me all day and talk to me? I can tell you my executive assistant grows very tired of having to be on the phone, listening to me talk through things. She'd much rather me talk to Claude.
Yeah.
And she's more productive when I do.
So we've talked about, different tools and how you use your marketing company to use AI. For businesses that are growing, what stage would they consider hiring or bringing on a CMO or a fractional CMO for marketing strategy?
So let's talk just fractional at this point, because fractional is where you'll get to first before you're going to get to the CMO stage. And let's talk a little bit about CMO in general first. You're looking for someone that has decades of experience. They have a wide-ranging experience. They may have been a tactician in some way. In other words, they may have come up in a portion of one of the funnels that comes up through marketing. So yes, you might find people that specialize in social media that are at the CMO level at this point. Those people are just starting to evolve out of that part of the industry. They may have been more email marketing experts, direct mail, paid advertising, insert all of the different things you can do in marketing. At the point of CMO, what you're looking for is somebody to come up at that higher level from a strategy standpoint. You want them looking down at all the pieces and understanding how they should funnel and fit together for you. So that's number one. You need to be at the point where you're earning enough to really talk to someone and have this as an expense. Hiring a fractional CMO does not mean it's a cheap solution to doing your marketing. I think that's one of the misnomers. And it's really expensive when you don't have a strategy because you're just throwing stuff at the wall and you're spending a lot of money and changing things. I personally take on clients typically at 10 million and above is my sweet spot. I will go down to 3 million and work in that gap. It depends on the business and where they are and how they're funded, kind of thing. But you need the money to be able to pay for the CMO. You need the money to be able to pay for the execution of everything you do. That is one of the things that's different about our agency versus others, is that we're not only a fractional CMO, we're a fractional marketing department because we have an entire team that can do that execution. And we do both of those things in tandem, depending on the client, how much execution, and then work with internal teams. So I think that answered your question. To actually hire a full-time CMO, you're probably way past 100 million at that point. And it's going to depend on your business again, whether you need that full-time seat sitting there as more than fractional. And as fractional, we function on the leadership team. I sit on the leadership teams of the companies I work with. I'm in there for ops meetings and understanding things and stuff. So I see a lot of things. So you want someone that has enough business experience that they can listen to the financial reports and talk to this side of the house, all those different things, and understand what's happening around them.
That's awesome.
Sure. And we didn't start with this, but can you define fractional CMO for those who have maybe not heard that term before?
So, it's really interesting. I get this question a lot. Fractional is technically it's part-time. What you're doing is you're paying for that expertise at some fraction of having them full-time. So I can work for a variety of different customers and clients, and they get a fraction of my day is the best way to look at it. So we work on retainers, and we work on open-ended contracts, monthly retainers. That retainer, the size of that retainer is directly linked to the size of the business, how many brands we're working on, insert all these different things and how that works. And we work for a long time. My longest client has been with me since 2021. And actually, no, I have a client longer than that that's been with me since 2018. So we work with them for a long time, and those relationships evolve. But fractional is just kind of a fancy new way of saying part-time, but it's different than a part-time employee.
I think fractional like up levels it a little bit because, I think you gave a really good definition. Not really part-time, because part-time usually insinuates that it's part-time effort too, right. Where like the fractional CMO is like more full-time effort just for a shorter period of time through the month or through the week.
Well, my clients come to me any day of the week. They come to me any time of day. It's just, now they're very respectful of time, and and it's not overwhelming, but at any given moment that they need me, I am 100% in their business. I just don't work on their business 100% of my time.
Yeah, got it. So if somebody was looking to reach out to you, maybe their business is at a place where they're ready to start talking about, fractional CMO, how would they reach out to you? What are some ways that they can connect with you?
The best way to connect with me is through our website. There's a great contact form there. If you're interested in fractional, you can learn more about that and reach out to us. You can reach out to us if you're interested in websites with us through the website itself. That's the best way to get to me. And then we'll follow back up with you. Usually my executive assistant is the first person to get back to you and figure out what you need and talk to you and point you in the right direction.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure we have all that information in the show notes. So now what we're going to do, Amy, is we have a lightning round. Mm-hmm. These are 1 to 2 word answers to, just answer the questions. If you really feel compelled to give more information, then do your best to keep it short. But okay. Allie's going to go ahead and jump into the lightning round.
All right, Amy, 1 word to describe your leadership style.
Hands-on.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Your go-to productivity hack?
AI.
Favorite business book or podcast?
10x is easier than 2x.
A money myth you wish would go away forever?
That women don't understand money.
If you could sit down for lunch or tea with any woman of wealth from the past or present, who would it be?
Oh, that's a really good one. From the past, I would probably love to sit down with Madeleine Albright, because I think she had a lot of wealth of knowledge, and that to me is where true wealth lies.
Amazing. I feel like we just recently had someone say that too.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I'm hearing some new names recently, so that's cool.
I love her. She's just she was just such an incredibly interesting person.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, Amy, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your time and all of your expertise. And thanks again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone.
It was nice meeting you.